Just because something didn't go the way you had hoped doesn't mean that you failed, Capricorn, nor does it mean that you shouldn't try again. I'm actually speaking a little bit from experience here because this is the third time I have attempted to record your reading, and I have really been kind of, to myself, made this commitment to only post readings and content on my channel that I really feel proud of. And it's felt like it's kind of given a new life to my channel, a new heart to it. Not that I wasn't proud of the stuff that I was doing before, but I've just been a lot more intentional with the way that I do these readings here. I feel like there's honestly a lot of predatory readers on YouTube, and I'm really trying to do this in a very balanced and healthy, but also meaningful and inspiring way. So it kind of feels like I'm doing a lot of juggling here. And maybe you're kind of in this similar boat right now, whether this is about a project that you are working on, Capricorn. Maybe there is some sort of devotion that you are practicing towards a project, or maybe your job, or something that's really important to you. It could even be about relationships or dating. Maybe you went on a first date and it didn't go quite well, and you're kind of feeling like, I don't know. I almost get the sense it might actually be a good time to investigate why you might be feeling that way, because there could be some internal blockage there. It might not be so much about the other person, but there could be a fear of being vulnerable. And I do say that because while I was shuffling the deck for you, I actually had a couple of cards fall out with the Lovers and the Strength card here. And the Lovers obviously does have connotations to love and romance, but it is also about willingness to be vulnerable, to be exposed to others. And sometimes this also signifies a commitment or a choice that you need to make, and it's really about bringing in your heart. I did also get the Strength card here as well. And this to me almost feels like a reinforcement of the Lovers, needing to have strong conviction. Strength is often about composure and that emotional maturity and not being so reactive, and instead being more responsive with intense emotional situations, kind of taming the beast, if you will. Maybe some of you are connecting with a Leo or Gemini energy as well. That could be maybe a confirmation for some of you if that's something you're relating to. But I really do get the sense, ultimately, there is something about you needing to commit to your heart or commit with your heart fully. And you might even mentally have been committed to something, but your heart isn't really in it. So maybe there's something that you kind of need to figure out. Is my heart really in the things I'm doing or the people I'm seeing or connecting with? What does my heart really need right now? So obviously very heart-centric reading here, and I'm curious to see what actually comes out for you in the reading. I also just want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's with all of your support that I'm able to continue putting out these messages, and I really encourage you to do so. If you are coming back and haven't done so already, I do appreciate it. I am also running a couple of sales on my website as well. We are in the holiday season. We are somehow already at the end of the year. You can find those discount codes on my website as well as in the comment section of this video, where you can also get links to my services, and that's also in the description of this video as well. So without further ado, let's do some shuffling here. Let's really see what the messages the universe has for you, although I feel like we already covered something pretty important here with the Lovers and the Strength card. I am just going to also give my friendly reminder that these are general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for all of you. It's up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for somebody else. I even invite you to maybe pause this video or just take a moment to really connect with yourself so you can really feel what messages are meant for you at this time. It's also possible that some of these messages might actually be meant for somebody else you are connecting with, regardless of zodiac placements. And you're also welcome to check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe for your moon or rising sign, there may be some messages for you there as well. So very interesting energy kind of coming in out the gate here. We do have the Seven of Wands with the Three of Cups. And this energy is kind of funny because it's like you are connecting with people, or there is something that you're celebrating, but there could also be a strong reaction to that. I almost get like jealousy or envy, actually. You might be feeling like you need to defend yourself against a group of people or even a friend group. or some sort of social circle. But it feels kind of like a little bit of both, if I'm being honest, for a lot of you. That there's something that you have been celebrating, and yet that's also brought in some unwanted attention. It kind of reminds me of like crabs in a barrel energy, where it's like, if you're not familiar with the expression, it's basically this concept of having crabs literally in a barrel without needing to put a lid on it. And the reason why is that as the crabs are trying to crawl out individually, they pull each other down. And so as they're all trying to get out of the situation, they actually keep each other stuck in the same situation. And psychologically, there is group normalization. When someone tries to make a change, even if it's a positive one, like something like changing your diet or exercising more, you may experience that sort of resistance from other people because on some level they feel threatened, and it could even be like an abandonment cue for them. And that's not to say that that's the reality, it's just sometimes a response that people have. And I'm really thinking of that with the 3 of Cups and the 7 of Wands. There could be somebody in your life or people in your life right now who are kind of triggered by you doing well, which is sort of interesting. This could also be like a group of people who you are defending yourself against. That might also be something. And it almost feels like a little bit too much of a good thing here. This is sort of past energy for you, Capricorn. And it's kind of like needing to refine your focus or narrow down your focus, because again, it feels like there's been a lot of attention on you. So let's see what else we have. What other messages do we have for Capricorn? Interesting. We do have the 5 of Cups in reverse. And this is interesting because I do feel like you're actually coming out of maybe an emotional or sad period, maybe even grieving. Sometimes when we see the 5 of Cups, people talk about this as like crying over spilled milk. I actually really like the traditional depiction of this card, and I'm using the Rider-Waite deck for a reason. I always intuitively select these decks. And we have these 3 cups that have been knocked over. 2 of these goblets are full of wine, but one of them is full of this green liquid, this poison. And so when I see the 5 of Cups, particularly this depiction of it, yes, there may be some things that you have lost, relationships that you've lost or felt disconnected from, but it's not always a good thing. You know, with that poison there, maybe there is something that you lost that wasn't really good for you. Perhaps this is even about substance, quite literally for some of you, especially in kind of like social contexts. If you have friends or connections that really revolve around that, maybe that's something you're feeling more distanced from lately. And with 5 of Cups in reverse, this actually does feel like you've kind of been healing from this letting go, this grieving. And I think it's important to process grief, even if it does seem like an exaggerated reaction. That actually usually means something hasn't been processed. There's something deeper to look at there. So I think you've been doing that work, and you've actually been healing and moving forward from a hard period. So it's kind of funny that maybe there are people who don't get it, or people who I almost want to say are gossiping about you. But it feels like you're moving forward in a really beautiful way, and I think it's important for you to keep your own sense of integrity, going back to the Lovers and the Strength card here, and being true to your own heart. What else do we have for Capricorn? What other messages do we have? We do have the Page of Wands coming in here. So yeah, I feel like you're getting your spark again. You're having more adventures or just enjoying life. Maybe you're feeling more creative and inspired. There could even be another person in your life who's kind of embodying this almost like youthful or young at heart energy. Or perhaps this is an energy that you are really embodying yourself. It just feels like fun. Like there's some fun energy here, despite kind of the drama that is around you. And I do really get the sense like there might, again, like I don't know if some of you are dating. We did just have a full moon in your 5th house of romance at the time of this recording, around November 15th of 2024. So regardless of when you're watching this, maybe there's some sort of hearkening back to this time period, or maybe the energy is playing out in a different way at the time of watching. But there was this sort of unexpected shift because that full moon was conjunct Uranus. So there were some surprises there. Things not going according to plan, but it still feels exciting. And I'm getting kind of a chemistry with the Page of Wands. That could also be indicated with this card too. But I really do get the sense, like, with that fifth house being about romance and pleasure and creativity, it's like all of these different things. Your life is really kind of being reignited. Your heart is being reignited. And it could be by a connection. It could also just be by you feeling more connected to yourself. Maybe it's both. Obviously, again, general readings. Take this as it applies. What else? What else do we have for Capricorn? We do have the Three of Wands in reverse. So again, it's like things aren't necessarily going according to plan right now. And it's actually funny that I said at the beginning of this reading, the first time might not be successful. Don't give up just because you failed the first time or things didn't go the way you had wanted them to. Because the Three of Wands in reverse, it can be like you've put something out into the world and it didn't return to you. You didn't see the progress. You didn't see the growth. You didn't see the opportunities. Or maybe things have just been delayed. There could be some sort of delay or setback. But I don't think that this might feel discouraging, but I don't think this is a defeat. Because I feel like there's a group of people or people around you who aren't cooperating with you. You're kind of fending something off right now. And maybe that's kind of brought about a delay or a change in plans. Maybe there are people who have different plans or different desires. That could also be something here too. But I do think it's important for you to stick to what is truly important to your heart. And I won't be able to tell you that in a reading. I'm going to be honest. This is something that you have to really sit with yourself in your situation, especially in kind of the challenges or obstacles. What are the things that I really prioritize right now? What is most important to me in this situation or in this relationship or in my connections? It's going to be super personal. And so again, my advice for you, Capricorn, this is a time to really connect with your heart. Especially if it feels like there are setbacks or you're just having a hard time moving forward or going into the next chapter. It feels like there is some sort of revising that needs to happen, or at least like getting back on page with yourself, with your own heart. And maybe that can help you get on page with somebody else too. Also looking down the clock, it is 333. So interestingly, I do consider this a number of manifestation. You know, we live in the 3 dimensions. We are kind of bringing things in with body, mind, and heart. I don't do body, mind, spirit. I think everything is an extension of spirit. So body, mind, heart, that kind of trinity, that sort of balance, that could be something that's really important. But I do also think of it as bringing something into a physical reality, or creating something from the heart, from your spirit, and kind of having that balance there, not just dreaming about things, but making them happen. So really, really powerful energy here. And again, 3 of Wands, I just feel like there is a delay right now. I feel like whatever it is that you're desiring or attempting to manifest or create in your life, whatever language you're using there, you are actually still on track for it. You might need to make some adjustment. Maybe there's a detour, but a detour isn't, it's not an end. You're just finding another way around things right now, or at least that's the advice. That's really what I'm feeling here. Anything else for Capricorn? Where is all of this going? Where is this leading for Capricorn? Okay, interesting. We have the Knight of Cups. Again, there really could be like a romantic connection for some of you, or again, just really following your own heart. The Knight of Cups is very dreamy, kind of an idealistic energy, can be very romantic, sometimes even a little bit unrealistic as well at times, so maybe that's just something to sort of keep in check. But ultimately, it's about having your heart in the right place as you are moving through the world and moving forward. That feels pretty important to me. Can we get more clarity for Capricorn? Where's everything going? We do have the Page of Swords here as well. So maybe you're having a very honest conversation about feelings and emotions. It feels like there's almost like a vibe check that you need to have. Because I feel like there's some sort of confrontation or conflict or tension in your life right now, Capricorn, that's almost unavoidable. Like it's already there. It's already here. It's already manifest. This came up in the past for you. So it feels like it's already in your life if that's your message. Obviously, though, time is also fluid in these readings. So, still allow what resonates for you to resonate. But I feel like for a lot of you, there's kind of been this conflict or this tension, and it feels like it's here or it's unavoidable. And when I see these two, it's like having this heart-to-heart conversation. And being very candid, and honestly, it might even be a little bit messy, and you just kind of have to allow it to be messy. You might actually be the one who's more composed right now, Capricorn, because you did get the Strength card at the beginning. That might be advice for you or guidance for you. But it does feel like something needs to at least be communicated. And if it's not even for the sake of the other person and working things out with the other person, it's for your own integrity. It's so that you know you have done all that you can do. And I feel like there's some sort of drama. Maybe this is with an ex, or like, I'm almost even getting like, kind of interestingly, like an ex's partner, or like, I've just been seeing like on social media those funny posts of like people being like, my ex's from the 6th grade's current partner is stalking me on social media. Like it could be something like that too. That almost feels kind of minor compared to what this is, but that's sort of coming up for me. So maybe there's something about an ex's partner, or something kind of in some sort of byway like that. But I do feel like there is a conversation. And it might be a little bit messy. It might not be perfect, but it's important that you stick true to your heart and that things are communicated honestly. Which is interesting. Any other messages for Capricorn here? 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, maybe this is also about like a work situation or someone in your day-to-day life. 3 of Pentacles upright is about cooperation and working together on something, or collaboration. It feels like that's kind of been not happening for you, Capricorn. People are not on the same page. And maybe even people have been taking advantage of you or your good nature or something like that. Because there's a difference between being kind and being permissive. You can be kind without being permissive and still have your boundary. And maybe that is kind of a message here. And for others of you, this might not be so much about connection. Sometimes the 3 of Pentacles in reverse signifies not having enough resources or shifts happening in resources because you're gaining information or knowledge. Maybe there's more you need to learn before you are allowed to proceed here with the 3 of Wands in reverse. But I do feel like this blockage, it's about other people in your life right now and not being on the same page. And maybe for some of you, there are relationships that you need to walk away from, or maybe there is something that can be worked out. But again, there needs to be a conversation either way, or some kind of like resolution. Maybe you can't have a conversation in your specific situation, but there's some sort of like, almost like internal dialogue that you need to have with this person, or even their higher self, like some sort of visualization like that. It feels like something needs to be expressed and put to words. Anything else for Capricorn here? Got a couple more cards. Interestingly, 7 of Cups with the King of Swords, both of these in reverse. Something has been very foggy and not clear. And it feels like, again, maybe there's been some deception or confusion in your life. I feel like there are some surprises in store. And I feel like I'm kind of bouncing around between different situations, but like for some reason this also just makes me think of like someone might actually want a relationship or want something or work on something with you They want some sort of connection with you, but you both just assumed the other person didn't. I don't know why that's coming in. Because it feels like something hasn't been communicated very well. There's been really murky communication. And, you know, it might even be like in trying to not hurt someone's feelings, maybe something isn't being said very directly and people are kind of misinterpreting things. It's like people are kind of just assuming the worst in this situation anyway, so you might as well just be really direct. And honestly, like, keep it simple. That's another thing I'm feeling. Very, very interesting. Star at the bottom of the deck here too. Healing, renewal, finding that in your life. Also Aquarius energy, which is the King of Swords as well. So that could also be someone you are connecting with at this time. But I really do feel like with the star, it's just kind of keeping your eyes on the prize. You know, remembering what your real goal is, remembering your long game. Because to me, the star, while it is about that renewal, finding hope and faith in life again, finding that calm after the storm, it is also about finding your navigation, finding that North Star. You don't necessarily know what's going to be on the road ahead of you, but you know the direction, you know what's most important. You know where you need to go. And I feel like that's very relevant to those of you who feel like you're kind of stuck in your life or you're not able to move forward. I feel like it's not about the destination here. It's just the way that you're doing things and maybe the people you're even working with or involved with, that there's something there that needs to kind of be clarified. But it does feel like there's something very soulful, very renewing. I also apologize. I'm not sure if you can hear the leaf blower outside. I'm going to pull an animal card for you, Capricorn. And I really like to think of these as energies to embody, but again, we're just going to be very open with the guidance and messages that come here. What is the animal message for Capricorn at this time? Show us clearly, please. Interesting, we do have the bee, so this is very much about working on things that you love, maybe being very productive, finding the sweetness in life. But sometimes when you are overworking or people feel overworked or stressed, there could be those stinging remarks. And it's almost important to kind of reconnect with the sweetness, with the why you are doing the things you are doing. And that could be for you. That could also be for another person around you. Because I feel like there is this need to kind of work together. Bees very much have that kind of hive mind, that collaborative or communal nature. And so it does feel like there is this need to kind of get back to the heart of something, get back to the sweetness of something, whether that is a partnership that you've been in, maybe a new connection, maybe a project. It's really about getting back to the heart of things. Anything else for Capricorn? Anything else for Capricorn? We do have the dragonfly. And sometimes there is this sort of illusory or fae-like quality. This can kind of remind me of the Seven of Cups, which we pulled earlier, can also remind me of the Seven of Swords, where things may not be what they appear. And dragonflies themselves are very shifty. They're able to move direction and change direction. So this does feel like you are kind of needing to alter your course, even mid-flight here. It might feel like kind of a fast energy or maybe a little uncomfortable or kind of like acting on your feet. But it does feel like this is a very positive omen of changing direction or kind of adjusting your course in ways that are needed. Dragonflies do also have these really brilliant compound eyes. They're able to see things from many different perspectives, and also being associated with ponds. We can kind of think of that as that sort of reflective energy, the elements of air and water, and the relationship that emotions have on our thoughts, and vice versa. You don't need to believe everything that people say either. And that might sound like kind of a weird message, but it's like, the problem isn't that somebody said something nasty to you. The thing that actually hurt is that you believed it. And I know that can sound like gaslighting. I know that requires a lot of discernment to kind of do that sort of work, but that's just something that's coming in for some reason as well. Like, maybe someone was just having a bad day and you took their outburst more personally than you really needed to. So that might be something for some of you as well. But yeah, I do feel like there is this sort of buzzing. There is a buzz right now around you. Maybe you are buzzing and it's kind of bringing in all of this attention towards you, Capricorn. But honestly, both of these energies feel very light and playful, and like there's almost this energy of taking things less seriously that I'm getting here. And actually, funny enough, bottom of the animal deck, we do have the otter, which is all about the spirit of play and joy, movement as well. So maybe getting into your body, doing exercise, dancing, anything that is very present and joyful could also be helpful here as well. But this just feels like, yeah, really, really just trying to just keep light in sort of a heavy situation. And I mean, honestly, at bottom of the deck here, we have the camel. It just pops out at me because this card often comes up when we are in a hot or heated situation, and we kind of need to draw upon our inner reserves and just, like the star, sort of remember where we're going, kind of keep the long game in mind. Especially kind of in seeking out that oasis, in seeking out those sources that are important to you. It's necessary for you to take the time to replenish yourself too, but also like you have these inner reserves, you have these inner resources, and that's going to be really important in your life right now. But I feel like there is also this message of having faith and, kind of going on a pilgrimage or having this sort of spiritual journey, knowing what is important to you, what's important to your heart. And I think that's everything, Capricorn. I do hope that this was helpful. Maybe even give like a little bee emoji here, trying to kind of claim this joyful, sweet energy for yourself. Or maybe an otter. I don't even know what emojis there are, to be honest. Is there a camel emoji? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments section down below. You can find all of my links for my services on my website. Again, I am running a sale for the holidays, so you can find those discount codes in the comment section as well as on my website itself. And you're more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel too. Maybe there's something for your moon and rising sign. Again, any support that you give this channel with your likes, shares, comments, subscribes, all of that is super appreciated. You can also hit that bell notification so you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you. And I will see you next time, Capricorn. I'm sending lots of loving, beautiful energy your way. Take care.